So it's been a while, but it's safe to say that the Vanguard beta was quite polarizing, to say the least. Like every year, we have people loving it, hating it, and censors saying it'll be the best COD ever. Anyway, right now with less than a month till launch, holy sh**, I'm gonna talk about everything I didn't like and I'd like to see changed. Time to kill, visibility, audio, etc. Respectfully. Please keep in mind that due to the nature of me talking about the things I didn't like, it might sound like I'm shitting on the game, but I'm not. The devs are working hard and I want the game to be the best it can be. Leave your own thoughts in the comments below, share the video with Sledgehammer, and let's go. First off, something I've seen on pretty much everybody's list, Sledgehammer themselves have acknowledged it too, the visibility. It's kinda bad, and they need to do everything they can to make operators stand out more from the map itself. Especially on a map like Red Star, with snow falling down, it's horrible. So we definitely need some better contrast here. I can't tell you how many times I was just shooting at a name tag, cause that was the only thing I saw, and that's definitely not the way it should be. The other thing about visibility is how bad the effects of getting shot are gonna be. It got a lot better with weekend 2 of the beta. If we can keep it at that or maybe even make it better, we should be good. Next up, audio. The overall audio mixing in the beta was just off somehow. It was really weird. It's hard to explain if you haven't experienced it yourself. Things sounded kinda muffled and the entire time I just felt completely unaware of everything around me. It was so strange. I've had gunshots that were actually kinda far away sound really close to me and vice versa. People sprinting at full speed an inch behind me and I didn't hear them at all. I don't know what the f was going on or going wrong there. All I do know is that whatever is responsible for those issues needs to be fixed, please. But let me make one thing very clear, since I was talking about footsteps, I don't think the footstep volume should be raised, if at all, just very slightly. Cause I'm worried if they do make it louder, it's gonna end up like MW 2019, and that was awful. Let me explain what I mean quickly. If footsteps end up really loud and you can hear enemies coming from a mile away, nobody's gonna move and it's gonna be a camp fest like MW. And nobody likes a camp fest. Especially with dead silence not being a perk, which honestly, I would kinda change as well. Now on to the most important and game-breaking point for me personally, time to kill TTK. With time to kill, it's always going to be about personal preference. With that said, I don't agree at all with the TTK we have in this game. To me, it's way too fast. It felt like playing hardcore, and all it does is create these whoever sees the other guy first gets the kill kind of situations, and I hate that. I'm a big believer that if you're good at Call of Duty, you should at least have the chance to react and fight back, and a fast TTK like this doesn't allow you to do that. Black Ops Cold War is about the sweet spot in my opinion. So if we could get some changes to the headshot multiplier, or an overall increase in health, or overall decrease in damage, whatever makes the most sense, I would be one happy boy. Another thing I'm not too happy about that also doesn't really complement the TTK either is the movement in this game. And I might be the minority when it comes to this, but I don't care. I don't like the movement system in this game. I didn't like it back in MW and it's very similar. To me, it's just too slow and too clunky, for the lack of a better term, when comparing to the usual arcadey COD style, like Black Ops Cold War, which I prefer. On the one hand, movement speed seems kinda slow, and of course the sprint out times are insanely slow. Some of them totally look like slow-mo 100%. I don't know how tight movement is tied to the engine, but I'd love to see some changes to make the game feel faster and smoother. How about some improvements across the board for all classes to sprint out times and general movement speed as well? So you could say that I definitely enjoy my movement, and in the same way I like to move it. I hate everything that could possibly consistently tamper with that. So on that note, the suppression feature needs to go, in my humble opinion. If you don't know, suppression is a feature that's sort of built into every gun, and how it works is if you shoot at an enemy, he's being slowed down, and I think your vision gets messed up somehow as well. And having that as a standard thing is completely overkill. Let's put realism aside, gameplay-wise, it's nothing but an unnecessary annoyance. How well you can move around during gunfights or getting away from gunfights is just as important as, for example, your aim when it comes to skill. But with suppression being a thing, you can take all your skill and throw it out the window, cause it's not gonna matter, and if I'm a decent to good player, I wanna show that and not be robbed of everything I could theoretically do. And even if you had a perk against it, all it would do is make that perk a crutch perk, and crutches are not a good thing. What I would suggest is to completely remove it if possible. If not, at least tie it down to a certain attachment for a select few or just one select weapon class, like LMGs for example. With a few elements of the game, it feels like we're taking a few steps backward instead of forward, one of them being the minimap. I will never, and I mean never in my lifetime, understand why we ever started messing with the minimap functionality back in MW 2019. We took a few steps forward again with Cold War, and now we're back to the minimap not showing enemy fire as red dots. All it does is make the game slower and more campy, because if people saw the red dots of people firing, they would come out of their shady holes and actually engage. And having to use a perk to get the OG map is not a very good decision, I feel. It's once again creating a crutch perk, and years ago, that was the exact thing devs were trying to get rid of, so as I was saying, we're taking steps back. Same thing goes for Killstreaks being there instead of score streaks. What about rewarding objective play? Isn't that just as important as getting kills? That's what it was all about, even with point streaks back in MW3. And once again, possibly having a perk to change that around shouldn't be a thing. It should be the standard, respectfully. My final point is really just a worry that I have, not so much criticism, and that's about the ton of attachments. I mean, it's great that we have stuff to grind for and all that, but with up to 10 attachments per gun, I'm honestly just worried about Sledgehammer being able to keep up with balancing. With attachments and different ammo types and God knows what else, I can't help but feel that there are gonna be some pretty broken combinations in there. And I just hope that they can stay on top of all that, and especially with more weapons and attachments coming post-launch, we don't end up with 100 different things needing to be tuned all the time. But for now, let's all stay positive and look forward to launch. If you enjoyed, drop a like, and for more Vanguard content, drop a sub as well if you haven't yet. All of my socials are in the description down below. That's at LevelUpMario on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Leave your own thoughts on the Vanguard beta in the comments, and as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.